A very good morning to all present here. It is said, engineering is the art or science of making things practical. Stepping up to this final year of your journey of engineering, I'm sure it's a mixture of emotion that runs in your minds. The first day of your college just feels like yesterday. And turning back the pages to your journey, you'll find arrays of works and deadlines with projects and assignments stacked up in queues and endless conference with errors. And still a little more of these to go. You are here. And now, since you have already reached the final year, here's time for you to take up that task of which you were dreaming, of which every engineering student dreams right from the first year, your final year project. Something you can treasure all through your life, something that would be a golden memory in your book of life. And now, speaking about the final year project, this year we intend to go a step further to just not make a final year project, but to make a product that would make you stand out in the industry. And to set up the foundation stone right exactly at the point, here we have this session, Lean Product Development with Design Thinking. With that being said, on behalf of the entire team organizing this webinar, I am Brianna Rajan and would like to invite you all with a big and warm hug to this session. With that being said, I now welcome Ms. Sana ma'am to introduce this topic.
A very graceful morning to one and all present here. I welcome all the B students of the new academic year 2021 in this very unique session. My dear students, you will soon start a journey that will be a lifetime experience for you all. You are going to invest a complete year in doing your major projects. This project will be a turning point for all of you. It will open many learning opportunities to you in diverse domains, from front end to middleware to back end. You may not be well versed with these technologies, but in due course, you will have your own learning experiences which will be very different in nature. Since we are now moving towards Industry 4.0, there is a strong need for the change in perspective of how our major project has to be done. There is a need to change our view in terms of how we look at our projects. We need to shift from project to product. This will help you to be industry ready. This paradigm shift will completely change the way project needs to be done and the phases required to do this project. Now, I would like to introduce our speaker for today, Dr. Amiya Kumar Tripathy. He will put some light on this paradigm shift and how we need to prepare ourselves for this shift. Dr. Amiya Kumar Tripathy is a professor in Computer Engineering Department. He had been Dean R&D of Don Bosco Institute of Technology, Mumbai. He is also an adjunct professor to School of Science, Edith Cowan University, Australia. He had been a research mentor on Smart Farming Project, Thailand with RM University of Technology. He had been the secretary to RUSA, Government of Maharashtra, for higher studies in geospatial technology. Dr. Tripathy earned his PhD from IIT Bombay and has been 22 years in software industry, research and academics, having 125 plus publications to review. He has been editorial board member of IEEE Transactions on Computational Social Systems and Elsewhere Journal of Information Science. He has been journal chair and program chair to many IEEE and ACM international conferences and has delivered many keynote and plenary talks. He has been carried out many collaborative overseas projects. His research interests include machine learning, data science, sensor network, ICT for agriculture and rural development. Welcome, sir, and best of luck for today's session, all the participants. Over to you, Brianna.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It is rightly said, well, begin is half done, and we couldn't think of a better beginning than this. Now, moving on to the crux of this session. Just before I hand it over to Amiya, sir, I would like to make an announcement. The YouTube chat box and your WhatsApp groups are open for questions. Kindly post in your questions. We'll be having a Q&A session right after Amiya sir's session, wherein your questions would be answered. Thank you so much, and over to you, Amiya sir.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, Brianna. So the lean product development and the paradigm shift that Sana Madam has told, and the today's requirement or today's generation requirement is of need of hour. So when we talk about a B projector, the B projects are not just a B project as of now. B projects are supposed to be a product-based project. Product-based project means when you talk about a project, the ultimate aim is supposed to be a product. So what do you mean by product? A product can be anything. Anything means maybe a software, maybe a hardware, or maybe a mix of it, or maybe any kind of a product which is maybe information system, which may require different kind of setups also. So here today, I'm just trying to say something, a mix of all these aspects, which is generalized, not necessary to a specific product is concerned. However, with the case studies, I will try to introduce you some of the things which have come up is a product with respect to time change and the problem. Now, when we talk about a product, when you develop a product, a product means to solve a particular problem, and from that one, a product is there. So one has to look into what is the problem is. Very clearly, one has to look problem into consideration first. And it has been seen that there is a disconnect. What a disconnect means, how could I possibly know precisely that what I need? That's what a buyer is trying to say. Similarly, how could I possibly know that my customer needs? That's what a vendor is trying to say. So there is a somewhere disconnection or disconnect is happening. And being a product or be a product, so it has to fill the gap to the disconnect. So the consequence for the disconnect is that there could be a complexity due to feature blot, or there could be a missing features, there could be a system which is not fitting for a particular work, or with respect to a changed work, a needs has been changed, or there are some poorly designed expector which is not touching to the respective points, or there could be a differential experiences from a fragmented users which has not been addressed. So these are could be a consequences for any kind of user when you are talking about a product is concerned. So the fundamental issues is gathering requirements, which assumes they exist to be gathered, right? So the solution to be could be that one, more detailed requirements are required, more control to be taken, more change management is required. There are n number of solutions, but I'm trying to say a few things which is to be taken into account. So look at first a design and the feedback system first, then comes in picture. So what if design means? Design is the successive application of constraints until only a unique product is left, right? So take a need, create a solution, try it, take another need, and add to a solution, check that solution still falls all the needs, fix it, the broken links, and take the next need, and that you repeat the loop until the things are done. That's what any design things are concerned. But there are something issues is what user ask is not what user need. That is what happening over there, right? So the key design is creating new knowledge with a feedback and learning is a very much essential. So there are different models, starting from waterfall model to other models are there, and which has been taken time to time. So whatever the, whether not necessarily a software product, perhaps any product, these are has been taken into consideration, though the models are changed with respect to time to time. So very first thing is require use a requirement gathering, maybe years, maybe months, maybe weeks. So you have to look for the perceived needs, that is to be taken into specification, a structural needs, domain knowledge needs, business process needs. All these are required as a specification towards designing a system, maybe with respect to software development having taken some months or years, and which may be towards deployment to the real users. But however, it takes a year, a month, and getting feedback. That's what waterfall model shows. But however, with respect to time change, things has been changed. So people look into a system called the agile system, which I'm talking about as software development point of view, but this is also applicable to other development point of view. Here the change is coming in picture because the works and weeks, whatever you talk about work, all these has been taken with perceived needs, which is workflow also there, business process also there, organizational structure there, domain knowledge required. These are of your specifications, which is towards system. But however, in between these two, the feedbacks, instead of months and years, it is reduced to a weeks over there. So feedback system is introduced over here to understand where we are and how things are moving before giving to the real users in the context, right? But again, with the due course of change, there are also times has come in picture. So in between that, the prototype model has feedback is taken into account. So when you are designing a prototype, again during that time with a real-time user, an immediate feedback is taken, not waiting for weeks or months. Okay, so the feedback in every system or every process, every prototype model, this is what the present day's requirement. And whereas you talk about agile software development or any other development, before giving to a real-time user, this is the way it has to, right? So this is what the present day context is concerned. But looking into aside all this, you require a different kind of things, that is called the design thinking or service-oriented design thinking or correlation thinking, co-design thinking, prototyping. All these are so many sort of keywords are there which we can Google it, and which are plays an important role when you are developing or design a product. In fact, and I talk about a participatory design also. The reason being because the product that you're designing is to whom? Obviously to a customer. If the customer participation or any kind of a whoever the stakeholder participator is involved, then probably the design or the system could be better way. So these are also plays an important role, right, while designing a product. So including a prototype, including a customer journey, including a body storming, including a role play, experience prototyping, right? So all these, what the words that you see, that I have listed a few words over here, which one can Google it. So these are the things nowadays required for, as you talk about industry 4.0. So these are the required, and these are the industry as of now looking into from a students who has such kind of ideas or such kind of motivation, such kind of things make into consideration while designing their B project or developing their B project. Okay, they are also nowadays working. You should be industry ready, means you should be deployed or at a particular platform or a particular place where you can directly work. So if you have such kind of knowledge or such kind of hands-on experience, then that will be the boost for your employment. Okay. So when I talk about the service or product design plus agile is a now way the products are designed as of now, whether it's a software or hardware or any kind of a mechanical product or any product. So this is the way it is going. Now the question comes is that why should I do a lean product development? This is what we talk about product development, what I just briefly told you. Now, why this thing is called a lean product development? What is the lean product means? Of course, there are so many theories behind it, which I may not look into every aspect of this, but certain things I would like to say something over there. The first principle for a lean product development is define the value to a customer, because ultimately the product is for whom? To a customer, right? So we have to define the value to the customer. That means among this there are several things, several values one has to look into that, and one such is that the voice of the customer. What it means, that one, the voice of customer research, when you talk about, provides the information to understand the customer needs and what customer value. So throughout the development of product, it is very important to maintain focus on what is the value to the customer. Again, when looking to this, then other point comes in picture is the quality function deployment, and which transform the customer needs into product specification and plans oriented to a maximizing the customer value proposition, right? So after this require a lean design, which basically when a product is concerned, always we will try to reduce the cost, whatever aspect it could be. So the concept comes over a lean design, which is minimizing the waste, whether it's a high cost or and a poor quality, which is intended to minimize the waste and maximize the value in the design of the product. So lean design, when you talk about, is based upon the concept of target costing, design to cost, design for manufacturability, assembly section, or any other design for excellence factors that are importantly delivering what a customer value and what will enhance the firm profitability. And this is basically a lean design concept is concept. When we talk about this, nowadays we talk about reuse. Instead of designing it from the scratch, can we reuse it? So platforms and design reuse is a point people are now looking to reduce the non-recurring cost of development. So we people reuse. If some software code available, can I reuse it? If somewhere some platform available, can I reuse it? So this will definitely reduce my cost. So instead of designing or developing it from the scratch, I can reuse. I can take something from GitHub, or I can take something from other sources. So that is called the reuse. This will definitely reduce the non-recurring cost of development and increase the product value and enable smaller base size or less non-recurring product development efforts. So it is important to develop more optimal solution to maximize the customer value, which is a set-based design, explore alternative, any kind of a parallelly or general narrowing any alternative until the solution emerges. So I'll talk about, when I talk about a lean product development, I'm talking about the value to a customer. So apart from this lean, or the other principles that lean development trying to say is identify the value stream and reduce. So what is that? It reduces the streamline and development process cost, right? That means to avoid unnecessary gates, process steps, procedures, or eliminate any kind of bureaucracy, or use any value stream mapping to eliminate any kind of a wastage, maybe in the form of a coding, maybe in the form of some other process, maybe in the form of some cost or concern. And also reduce the workplace, so to minimize the data requirement, time requirement, and maybe the life cycle span, which is also reducing. So which also may look into standardized work, may also look into integration of design tools to facilitate some kind of data exchange, and which will be definitely reduce a cycle time. So I'm talking about, I'm not going to discuss more on the lean, but I'm talking about the fundamental principles is of maintaining or defining the value to the customer, and whenever a product design is concerned, right? So apart from this, one has to look for the pipeline management, look for the pull scheduling, look for reducing the base size, look for synchronization, or any kind of a commitment which is to defer, right? And as of this, one is to, or one should not forget to empower the team, because any product that we are talking about is not individual, it's a teamwork. So the empowering team is very much important, whether it's a 3-person, 4-person, yeah, 6-person, anything. Whenever you do a product, this is a team is required. So the lean development also focus on the empowering a team. So cross-functional team is a way to create a work cell which requires a discipline to more rapidly conduct a development activities. So coordination, collaboration, and such kind of things are required when look for a empowering a team. And also you look for the right resources in terms of right number of people, right time, right skills and experience, and that will be definitely good towards a product development. And one cannot forget to learn or improve. Amplifying learning is all the time requiring for capturing any knowledge, organizing knowledge and information, making it readily available to others, and such kind of things. So these are basically, I've tried to say, why should I do a lean product development? Though it is, takes a lot of things, just I'm not trying to do all things, but I'm just explaining you why should I do a lean product development. So these are the basic principles what I just told you, right? So as I told, resource is limited, customers are uncertain, product is uncertain, value also are uncertain, market uncertain. So all these are the points one has to think while developing a product, however small product it could be. So the only certain is that nothing is certain, basically, when you look for a this figure is concerned. So now let's example diet water. What makes a great product? One has to think any kind of a product, what makes a thing a great product. So one has to look into the both the positive angle, negative angle, or the time or the viability or the feasibility. All these factors comes into picture what makes a product very good. Ability, which is basically a simplicity. So what require a time, resources in the money, physical efforts, brain cycles, social relevance or social deviance, and run routine. So where does it hurts me is the point one has to think on that. So how to make a product a great product, one has to think on this. But there is a problem, is a maze problem. Is it this side or that side? Is always there could be a problem. So do I need that? Or some kind of questions may come only nice to have instead of a must have, or not knowing customer or context, not enough research, or assumptions instead of effects, no validation. So this is a match problem. Underestimation is another problem which is comes in picture whenever a product development is concerned, right? So one is to look into why the optimistic estimation required, why too many features, why the human inability to grasp complexity. So this is another kind of a so-called mess problem. So in the end of it costs 2 times as much, it takes 3 times as long. That's what a underestimation problem is concerned. So solution to this is that you have to go for a lean, what I just told few lines over there, which is trying to reduce complexity, increase flexibility, higher transparency, better cost control, and expected for failures also there for the lean development concern. So while going to the product development, then other aspect comes in picture is the lean design sprint, which is towards the innovation, and this requires a bit of design thinking, which may be to the agile or maybe to the growth hacking also. So when you look for a design thinking, one has to understand emphasize, map, diverse, converge, or prototype design, right? Or maybe then comes a Tesla. This is what the process of a design thinking is concerned, and which agile will look into the build quality and more on the design with respect to metrics and measures, and could be a Scrum sprint design, or There could be a growth hacking, which is with respect to a target customer with a growth channels and enhancing. That could be another cycle. This is what a lean design of for a product is concerned, wherein the innovation, lean innovation is one to take place. Innovation is something that some sort of a new ideas or some new things that you are changing to existing one, or maybe coming to a new way is towards a innovation. But when we talk about innovation at the undergraduate and the with respect to limitation of time or time constraints, so the innovation part maybe not that much focus enough. But however, one cannot look into innovation is concerned. Innovation is maybe with respect to your age, with respect to your period that you're getting some sort of a novelty. Some sort of a novelty is very much required, which is that you are putting to a creative idea, not necessarily that one creative ideas are not existing anywhere. Yes, could be there, but with respect to technological change, with respect to the product development, with respect to the product demand, with respect to the gap, then there could be a new thing that you are introducing, a value addition to this one that could treat as a lean innovation. So when you look for a lean canvas, you have to look for problems. What is the crucial problem faced by your consumers or customers? Capture their central frustration, right? That is what you have to look, so that you can provide a solution to the consumer's problem, presenting and defining your services. And you can provide a value proposition from the problem. Before that, you have to understand what is the problem. Sometimes it happens that when defining a problem is a tough task to understand or look into what is the actual critical problem, so that I can try to provide a solution. So when you are providing a solution, obviously one has to look into the key metrics, that is the activities, how you measure it, how will you track the consumer engagement, excitement, and use of your product. So you to define a metrics for to measure the solution from your product is coming up. And this lean canvas, when you talk about, it should be a unique value proposition, so that you will be gain a momentum in the market, or you will be one which is standalone. That means this should explain what you do, how you are different, and why you are worth of doing this. Because if it is a unique value proposition, definitely it happens that when someone is going to sponsor it, some big persons or some big joint ventures or venture capitalist may sponsor you something. So you have to provide a unique value proposition to your product. So maybe zero in your heart of your service and highlight what stands out about the product you provided. That means how does your product fit into a bigger picture when it comes a large scale production, or when comes it a mass production is concerned. And obviously sometimes one has to look into that, how do you stand out from competitors, what puts you ahead of the pack. Also one has to think. See, while doing a BE project, it's not necessary that one BE projects are supposed to be only be defined with a so-called a goal to submit it or finish it. No, that is not the case. It happened that when many of the entrepreneurial things are coming from the BE projects, many of the things that you may become entrepreneur, and your ideas are worth of selling. Your ideas could be, don't think that one any idea is a small idea or a big idea. Any idea is a big idea actually. How do you articulate it? How do you provide a value proposition that makes you think? So you have to look for what kind of advantage I have to look into that one. So you have to find out the channels. How do I portray to the consumer or others, so that the different things can take into account. So you have to look for a different kind of channel, right? And you would look for the advantage of it, and you would look for the customer segment first, something like who can help you. Identify customers, even though the customers could be very few, but this is what very much required, because you have to look for your user persona to create a tool also. And you have to look for define a specific characteristics of your early adapters from those customers, right? Then comes the other streams like revenue and the cost, other things will comes in. So this is the basic a lean canvas for a lean product development activities is concerned. So the question comes, what's the most dangerous assumptions? How can I validate it? So this is what your solution is the most dangerous assumption, and that how do you validate it? That's what your solution. So what is your solution to consumers problem and presenting the defining elements of your service? That is what the point is of interest over there. So overall, when you look for a lean design, so these are required starting from problem to a solution to a matrix to a unique value proposition to a unfair advantage to a segment, customer segment, different channels. Cost structure also plays an important role while designing, whether it's a B project, yeah, any kind of projects. Though I've taken into more on the small scale projects over there, but how this plays a very important role for investment, right? And revenue plays a very important role when comes a higher level or a company level works are concerned. So when we talk about again coming back to the when you talk, those are talking about more on the design thinking aspect to the going to the agile way. What I earlier told that one, the nowadays from a waterfall model to the next was called the agile model is the trend as of now. So agile and growth hacking plays an important role as of now is concerned. But one should not forget the design think aspect. This is the primary aspect of whenever you try to develop a product is concerned. So when you look for a design, so design thinking comes in picture, means you have to emphasize, you have to map, you have to diverge, you have to converse, and you have to do a prototype design, test and learn. And that's a cycle for any kind of a design thinking is concerned. So let's look at a video which I'm going to play over here. So this is a video where it try to makes you a design thinking approach to come up a babysitter trolley, and which is compact, foldable, and marketable, and obviously is a taken into consideration for the parents, taken consideration for the child and other aspect, and how this can be taken. Let's look into example for this one, for this video.
Design thinking is a process that designers can use to match people's needs to what is feasible, both technically and from a business perspective.
4 components that make up the design thinking philosophy are: 1, integrative thinking, where designers harmonize seemingly conflicting ideas into a useful whole.
2, experimentalism, where addressing larger questions about a product's usefulness can lead to profound design innovations. 3, collaboration, where designers seek out a variety of interdisciplinary opinions to solve complex problems.
And 4, empathy, a designer's ability to imagine a product's use from the perspective of the customer.
To employ empathy in the product development cycle, designers need to understand more than how a product will function. They need to understand how a person will interact with their environment through that product.
Design, empathy, and collaboration work hand in hand. And the first step in integrating these ideas into a product is to begin with the right questions.
Designers have to ask themselves, how should our product function? How shouldn't it function? Who will use it and why will they use it?
A framework of targeted questions can help the designer create a product that puts the customer's needs at the forefront of the product development.
But to drive a design towards a customer-focused orientation, product designers need to collaborate with their target audience, seeking their advice about the benefits and flaws of a design.
To collaborate effectively, designers need to be willing to allow their audience to have hands-on experience with the product, but effectively managing the opinions of a focus group is also key.
By following a structured observation protocol, Designers can often find meaningful insights into the benefits and flaws of the current design and build customer feedback directly into the product.
Designers can quickly put this information into use by imagining solutions based on their observations and updating their CAD models and designs accordingly.
In a previous episode, we spoke with designers at Baby Zen about how they built their Zen and yoga strollers with active parents in mind. Here's how they use design empathy and collaboration in their product design process.
First of all, it should come designers at Baby Zen are parents themselves. Being a member of the community you are designing for is a valuable tool for gaining deep insight into a product's most critical problems.
Baby Zen's design team included designers from different disciplines who collaborated to solve the issues that typical stroller users faced. They asked, aside from moving a kid from point A to point B, what does a stroller need to do?
Their answers, after structured observation, were that strollers needed to be more maneuverable in small spaces. They needed to be adjustable for both the parent and the child, and they needed to be safer when used at night.
These answers acted as a design roadmap and led to developing strollers with collapsible frames, adjustable handlebars, and LED lighting systems.
Through the use of design thinking, Baby Zen was able to capture the needs of their customers and develop the best strollers on the market.
In our next episode,
So you have seen this video, small video, Baby Zen is a product which is developed by using a design thinking for the parents as well as child safety, including the day and night, and foldable trolley has been taken. So when you talk about this is a marketable product, and not only marketable product, as a compact product where various stakeholders idea has been taken into consideration, starting from a parent to the usability and to the marketable product to a foldable product. And of course, you have seen there are various concepts has been taken into account, right? So when you talk about any kind of a product, all these processes are very much required. So understand, diverge, converge, prototype, test, and learn is the phases for any kind of a design thinking is concerned. But keep in mind, when you talk about design thinking, the customers to whom you are making a design, to whom you are designing a product, that is the very much empathetic or empathy is to be taken into consideration. So you have to emphasize and map, set a goal, right? So you have to, when you look for a entrepreneur or something, you look for a what could be the business opportunity after that, and how could it fail, and what could be job done, and what causes you to hire. Because ultimately, when you design a product, you are not designing a product, but you also talk about right as a for a hire and other things are concerned, right? So you have to look for a different kind of a root cause analysis. You have to look for a different kind of exercise and customer and update goals each time. It could be a dynamic and all things are there. Before going for picking a target, you have to find out what are the steps, how to get there, and you have to make a map for such kind of things. So that's called to the empathize to map. And this requires a so-called a blueprint. Some other words we talk about that blueprint. So when you look for a diverse, so this requires an ideate or sketch your blueprint, basically. Let's look at the existing things which is already there in the thing, and how do you build a something on the top of it. So example, when I talk about your M indicator, which many of you have been using in the while traveling in the train, which is a great product for an app-based product is concerned, from a train information to the bus information to other informations are there, example, right? Including the real-time information of a train and how much it is late and which platform it's crossed, or such kind of things are there. Suppose I would like to add value to it, or I want to add an add-on product to it. To its example, we talk about look for a peak hours. When we talk about, if you look for any peak hours, each and every platform is all the time overcrowded with the not only platform but also the train station, lift, and all things overcrowded. So sometimes it feels a pity, and sometimes it is concerned of a safety and security of any kind of passenger, whether it's a female, yeah, elderly person, yeah, small kids are concerned. Now, if I talk about on an ideate, all things are there to the on value to a add-on value to a so-called our M indicators, right? So one ideate or one idea may comes in picture, or one can sketch something that can I know, like the way you know that one real-time system of your real-time information of your train, can I know that one what could be the crowd when a train reach to a platform. So it means that one, it requires a crowd density measurement required. So crowd density measurement is, of course, this is just I'm talking about ideation, an idea and how to sketch it. So how this can be carried out, because as you are user of is a user of your M indicators, and you have been recorded somewhere. As you purchase ticket, you are recorded. When you enter into platform, it is recorded because the geotag is concerned. When you enter a train, it is also recorded because of geotag of a train over there. That means the data has been recorded somewhere, right? So when it has to pull the data, integrate in data, and find some sort of a meaning of it, and provide that one at a particular time. What is the situation of a platform, including the number of users standing in the platform for waiting for a train, and at the number of passengers getting out of the train, and number of passengers inside the train. All these are data is come in picture, and there are so many cameras already available, and which is also capturing your data. From that one, a density map can be created, and the crowd movement, whether it's moving to the left or right, or to the lift or to the staircase, all this can be calculated, and can be a data, can be sketched, and that can be an idea, right? Which is can be created as a kind of a map, and which may lead to give you information well in advance. Suppose I want to know that one, what is how can I move out of the platform, and which direction I have to get down when I get out from a train. So I'm talking about a product, an additional product, which is on the top of a M indicator, and which can be a geotag based, which is providing information that is a point-to-point information that can be doable. So this is just an idea, and you have to sketch the idea, and you have to make a something a mind map of features, and a sketch, so that you can create a blueprint and provide a solution for towards to solve that problem is concerned. So I say that one, you have to take a notes, ideas, and you have to look for a edge crazy you are, and you should provide a solution catch for this one. So ultimately, what I just give an example for this one. So when we look for a converge or to decide, so it requires some kind of a heat map, which is putting a sticky dot silent on the part of you like it, or it may be a discussion, standout ideas, or
There's a technical issue going on. We'll quickly resolve it and we'll be back. The session is resumed for some time.
Are you supposed to leave the meeting?
No, sir, we'll be reconnecting in some time.
All right, all right.
Hello, Kumar. Hello, Kunal.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir, you can be heard. You can continue, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry for disturbance. Something went wrong on my side. Okay. So is my voice and video going on right now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So when I talk about the ideas, and you are to took for you to take a note, keep in note of it, ideas, ideate it, and to sketch a solution for this one. So when I talk about the heat map and converge, right, and you have to say something that how the conflict are coming to. As I talking about the M indicator and something, the conflicts are that how do I know that one, the number of users entering into the station? Because if it's a M indicator user or a mobile user, I can geotag. But what about a person which is not using a mobile phone or a feature phone, which is GPS is not on and taken it part from ticket from the outside? And how do you come to know? Because there are such kind of users are already there itself, isn't it? So this is a so-called a conflict that comes in. But how about those conflicts also one has to note down, because these are the requirement for data gathering is concerned, right? So any kind of conflict, whether it's a bad conflict, yeah, good conflict, all are required for any kind of product design. So any product design requires not only good thing, but also some sort of a limitation, some drawbacks, and some fact findings also required. So hence one has to collect and write down all the conflicts required there. So who has to take into some kind of a dots, connecting dots to different points, so to make it a possible things to doable over time. So when we talk about the how do you do a best show, when you look for a or B or some other things, one is to look into that one to choose what process I have to work. Because sometimes whenever I do a product design or something, we have to look for different plans. Even though for an event, you talk about different plans. So hence you have a plan. Can I go with a plan A or can I go with a plan B or something? Or I have to choose which I have to work on that. Like this way, when you look for an algorithm, you took why I have to take a plan A algorithm or not plan B algorithm. Like this way, one has to look into. So you have to look for a full kind of a storyboard. You have to find out and sketch it and take a different kind of route, and how do you do it? Okay. So when you look for then going for a prototyping and pick the right tools, you require different kind of flexible and fast tools required there, right? You have to stitch different kind of small programs, small subroutines, and that is very much required. And you have to do a trial run before giving a final touch is concerned. You have to write down the kind of a script which could be a test cases, which of course nowadays the test cases are automated. Where as a student you have to literally manually you have to write a test script, and you have to look for a different kind of assumptions. So sometimes because the data gathering could be of more a real time and also offline data are there. So hence you have to write a script for making a prototype out of it, right? When you look for a validation, definitely you have to look for, because when you look for a validation and testing, you require a customer, right, or target customer point of view to look in, because all the real-time projects are definitely customer centric. Hence customers involvement could be a great if you involve them. Now for you, when you design a product, you have to find out who could be your customers, and maybe maybe a large section or a small section, you have to look into that one. So you have to have a different kind of a friendly welcome, put them into ease, and you have to contextualize the question. How do you start with the question? How do you verify the background, and how do you match it, and how do you introduce prototype? These are very much small thing, but here you require a kind of a soft skill required to test and learn from the customers actually. So this is you require a different kind of script to what kind of questions to be asked. From that one I can get a reliable answer, or as a solid answer so that my model or my test case could be fruitful, right? So you have to prepare, or you have to write a script. Nowadays, as things are now automated, but for a B project, you have to do a manual things are concerned over there. So when you, after design sprint is concerned, you have to repeat many times, and you have to look for these things repeatedly, so to make it any kind of a matrix to measure or capture the real fault in it over there. All are uncovered when you do iterative work, right? To mistake design tool of iteration for design itself is a grave error, basically. So one has to look for a local maxima. Iteration cannot be innovative one. You have to look for a local maximum, right? Iteration cannot find a usability problem, but it also can't solve a problem. So it should be have a different kind of delight, and yes or no kind of testing is required. And this is a so-called a testing methods. One has to look into that. So when comes a success of any kind of a product, it requires, as I said, that three things require that one. That is what your design thinking approach. The second one, the agile one, and the third one is the growth, right? So when I look into this, so let's look into a little bit different way and how the things move into that. Sorry. So the success, when I talk about is what people think, but however it looks literally like a coil, like a coil. This is the way of a success is concerned. So as I say that one, when we started with a lean, so you have to look into hypothesis driven, validate any kind of a learning. You have to look for a mean value propagation, and you would look for a build, measure, learn. This is a routine work, and you have to look for a fail fast and pivot work on concern, right? And as I said that one, agile point of view, you have to look for iteration, inspect, adapt, and learning. You have to look for a different kind of story, user story, and that is basically for a customer point of view and customer story, basically. So that you can prioritize your backlogs, and you can also look for a cross-functional teams which can be in the workforce for you, and which you have to follow the agile principles are concerned. When look for agile principles are concerned, you show that one individuals and interactions over process and tools, working product over a comprehensive documentation, customer collaboration over a contract negotiation. So these are some kind of things that require you have to respond to a change over following a proper plan over there. So remember, if we were building something that nobody wants, it doesn't matter if we are doing it on time or budget. This is what Eric Rice is told that one. So when you look for any startup, the lean startup method, when you talk about it, teach you how you drive a startup, how to steer, when to turn, and when to pursue and grow a business with a maximum acceleration. This is what some principles are there, which the link is given to you for a how do you lean startup one can do, because nowadays people are going for a startup from a B project to that could be a startup also there. So when you look for a lean startup, as you talk about, it is learn, idea, build, product, measure. This is a cycle, basically. This is a cycle, right? So looking for a customer development, customer discovery, to a customer validation, to a customer creation, to a company building is the process of any kind. But however, when I look for a customer discovery and customer validation, this is again a feedback process is there, starting from a problem solution to fit, to a proposed MVP, to a proposed funnels, to a product market, to a business model, to a sales and all things. These are a loop like a structure before going for a customer creation, right? Okay. So the key question comes in picture is that can you identify a core user problem in a target market when you look for a product concern? Have you explored, are there real customer who can value from your concept? Or can you demonstrate a product or a business model? Can you grow? How fast you are growing the business as a scale when you took for entrepreneurship is concerned? And how do you sustain? Are you delivering revenue and outcome-based product, or retire? What residual value can glean from the business? These are basically a key question when you look for a lean product development are concerned. So a search, execute, and execute are really different. Search is left hand side. You see the one how you're searching, and this is what actually the execute how you're different over there. So, but all these things, when you talk about any kind of product development, it is highly non-linear process. So you have to learn, build, measure, learn, build, measure is what all the time has to require into that one. So any kind of a version of any new product which allows a team to collect the maximum amount of validated learn about the customer, and the customer is what the first priority and is concerned. When you look for a minimal value viable product, which is not just a product, is a process basically actually. So when you look for two things over, the first one is not like, but the second one is like this actually. It should be like this way. So you may have to when look for a business model you want to put it. So you may have a innovation tool or some lightweight, visual, flexible, collaborative response can be put into picture when you look for a business as concerned. So it is important to realize that a product or service idea is not sufficient for any kind of a success is concerned. So you could have a good idea, but you don't have a good business model to support it. So then your business could fail also. So it is not enough to just have a good product. It must be delivered to a customer, and that is could be a sustainable and profitable, obviously. So this is what a very much question is required there. So when you're looking for a any kind of a business model, so you look for the key partners, key activities, value proposition, customer relationship, customer segments, and different channels, and all things are very much required over there. Now look at examples of a machine that is a Nespresso. So this is a machine which when this business model comes in picture, the key parameters are the coffee machine manufacturer, coffee growers is one side. When you look for a key activity, so it is looked for a B2C distribution or marketing or dual, because when you look for a product, the product also looks for a further. So you require also marketing strategy, or how do I look it? Because I'm talking about entrepreneur point of view in this case. So in this case, key activities could be something like this way, but key resource could be a coffee, of a dents, of a distributed channels, or dot production facility, something. So value proposition could be a machine, or other different parts of that machine. Or when you look for a customer relationship, you have to look for a claw for that one, right? When you look for a channel, then how do you retain the outlets? How do you the mail order? How do you prepare a cloud center, or such kind of ideas one has to look into that one. So the canvas is not just a business plan basically. So one has to look into a different design expertise concerned. Design models are required. So you have your startup idea could be a current and could be a local maxima like this way, but better startup art model is like this actually. So this if you look for. So this is called the local maxima, which earlier I was trying to say that one. So when you look for the experimentation, definitely you have to pick the riskiest assumption from a business model. When you talk about brainstorm is very much required. Try to break the test even a smaller units of work, because individualism will not work. You have to work in the small model over there. So you have to choose, test and define testable hypothesis. You have to create it. So you have to set a goal for a minimum success criteria, even though you may not succeed for complete things. You have to run the test, try, hit and go. Repeated run is very much required, and review results or make a decision is what required. So what you or I believe is basically a target market, and definitely this will be do action and use this for a solution, which could be a reason for this one. So we will know we are right when minimum success criteria is met actually. That's called the success criteria. So when you look for a problem statement, for example, when you took for a hotel website or mobile app designed to rent a hotel room for a travelers, we offer a lowest room possible price. So we have observed 1% of total number of visitors booked. Now, how might we improve our website or mobile app so that 10% more visitors will come over there, right? So in this cases, one can look in that one, adding hotel room images on a booking pages, right? So and citing visitors also. So this, I'm just giving you a hypothesis how the things are moving actually. That means you will achieve more customer conversion. So that means you are validated by a 10% increase in the customer, and who will review hotel images and who next processed to a book within 48 hours. So these are the hypotheses one has to look into that. So it look into different kind of zoom in, zoom out, or customer segment pivot, customer need pivot, platform pivot, right? Business architecture, value capture, engine of growth pivot, technology pivot, channel pivot. These are the required for any kind of a startup things when you look into for any kind of venture thing concern. Now look for example of Instagram over there. So how this Instagram started? So it is a learn to code at night at work, one person. Then it's built an HTML5 prototype called a button. And after that, it gave it to a friend to use it. And after that, it met investors to at a party and showed them a button what is created. And after that, this took a jump and quit the job also, whatever he was trying to say. But again, when he got a funding something, then he again differently. Now he found a co-founder and looked at what they have an app that did everything along from the check-in photos also. Decided to focus on how they think photos and then prototyped it. Then after that, it built a pretty available photo apps, then went back and to add an old venture button, right? And after that, it now made a button into the iPhone and then threw out, then renamed and launched at a different moderation. And then now you see this one, how this Instagram is happening. So yes, I will take a few more minutes, 5-10 minutes. Okay, right. So now the how this Angry Bird started. So this is, I'm just giving another example of that one. So so this Angry Bird is a game of business. 3 guys start a company and made 51 games and went to most broke, and I wanted to make one more game. Then they have zeroed down. After that, the sketch have different ideas, and one day the sketch is worked in that. That's how this is started over there. So there is no failure except in no longer trying it. That is what one is to say, that one is to try it all this time. So the key takers on this one is that the minimum value viable product is a process, basically not a product. So you're searching and executing are different, and product development and product access are different, all are non-linear. So one is to build, measure, learn, and this is basically a cycle: build, measure, learn, and learn first by delivering often and testing your riskiest institution first. But all these one is to make that one a design thinking approach has to come first to a agile, then the growth. That's what the way it has to go actually. So that's all for my work. And next to the any questions that you are trying to ask me.
Thank you so much, sir. Now heading on to the Q&A session. The first question is, in a research-based project, the result is uncertain and one may not have output as expected. The outcome is not necessarily a product. Is lean product development possible in a research-based project?
Yes. See, when you look for a research-based project, you talk about a bit of innovation. You are talking about a value here. But in the research-based project, what it matters is a concept one. Can you able to conceptualize your idea even though it may not be implemented fully? Can you divide your ideas into multiple small segments so you can do one by one? But the concept plays an important role. But even if the concept, when you talk about the concept or the idea or the ideation is the most important than anything else, right? So when you're looking for a research and models, yes, definitely the product looks into a time consuming and all things there. But again, because if you provide a roadmap, if you look a Gantt chart, and if you prepare a model from the very beginning, that one, how much this can be done, these things, and then so if you divide a part by part one, right? Yes, then you can say that one, yes, this is the concept, this is the what the validation up to this is the model, this is the model of portion of this one. So hence you may not have a fully model completed enough in a time frame, but however, yes, the concept or the model can be doable within a span of 6 to 8 months over there. So I don't think that one you cannot produce it. Yes, you can produce, because ultimately the what important is the basic idea, which it later on can be marketable, can be taken later on for a next step for or other basis is concerned. Am I answering your question, please?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. We have another question. What are the criteria for innovative ideas evaluation during the process of new product development?
The very first criteria, I just said that one, product is meant for whom? Obviously, product is meant for a basically to a customer, right? So the when you look for a idea and the customer and the feedback, so somewhere you have to come up a statistical model that means statistical metrics, not a model, means metrics to measure that how much you are fitting towards a customer satisfaction is concerned over there, how much you are in a phase towards meeting the requirement of a customer. So that metrics one has to put it right. So this is what is very much required, focusing on the product and the customer.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
With that being said, we wind up the Q&A session. I would like to invite Mr. Imran Ali Mirza, Dean Administration, to propose the vote of thanks.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. On behalf of Department of Computer Engineering, I take this opportunity to thank our mentor, Dr. Amiya Kumar Tripathy, for the very interesting session on the subject lean product development and design thinking. Thank you, Doctor, for the session and the valuable insight on lean product development and a special emphasis on Scrum and Agile and sharing of your experience. The guidance that you have provided during the webinar will reinforce the student ideas and ability to bring a good product and explore new opportunities in this niche area. I would like to thank our Director Father Colbert Da Silva, Executive Director Father Mario Vaz, Administrator Father McEnroe, Principal Dr. Prasanna Nambiar, HOD Ms. and Dr. Feroz Sheikh, the mentor, and the faculty members of the Computer Engineering Department. Last but not the least, I would like to thank the organizing team powered by the ACM body and the project coordinator, Ms. Shafaq Fatima. I thank everyone for this big opportunity. And once again, I thank the team for making this program successful. Over to Brianna.
Thank you so much, sir, for those beautiful words. With that being said, we wind up today's session. This is Brianna Rajan from the whole team signing off. Thank you.
Thank you.